Listen closely. It is 2 a.m. The world outside your window has stopped breathing. The streets are empty, the rivers are frozen in time, and the world is asleep. Yet, inside the dark castle of your own mind, the torches are lit, and a phantom army is marching. You are replaying words that turned to dust years ago. You are fighting monsters that haven't even been born. You are drowning in a sea that exists nowhere, except in your head. We call it overthinking. We pretend it is a modern curse, born from glowing screens and digital ghosts. But that is a lie told by the modern world. 2,000 years ago, in the cold, shadow-stained palaces of Rome, a man sat in the dim light of a flickering candle, feeling the exact same phantom army tearing at his soul. He was one of the wealthiest masters of the ancient world, a wizard of words who moved the hearts of emperors. Yet, in the twilight of his chaotic life, as the shadows of executioners drew closer, he picked up his pen and whispered a secret to the parchment, a secret that still echoes through centuries of darkness. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. His name was Seneca, and his story is not a history lesson. It is a mirror to your own haunted soul. Once upon a time, Seneca held the keys to the mortal world, mountains of silver, endless political whisperings, and a name that made kings tremble. He sat at the absolute peak of the civilized empire. But in the grand theatre of Rome, favour is as fragile as thin ice, and the envy of rulers is a silent blade waiting in the dark. In a single, terrifying week, the illusion shattered. Slandered by invisible enemies, the cold gears of Roman politics turned against him. Emperor Claudius signed the decree, and Seneca's destiny was rewritten in blood. He was stripped of his gold, cast out of the eternal city, and banished to a cursed, barren rock in the middle of a screaming sea, an island called Corsica. His enemies in Rome laughed into their wine. They knew the island. It was a place of brutal winter winds, sharp, unforgiving stones, and absolute, crushing isolation. They expected the silence of that rock to drive the brilliant mind mad. They expected him to beg, to weep, to break under the weight of having nothing but the ghosts of his memories. But a true alchemist does not need gold to make magic. On that lonely cliff, while the stormy waves crashed against his frozen feet, Seneca discovered a truth so beautiful it was terrifying. If the fortress inside your mind is built of solid stone, the cruelest storms of the earth can only wash the dust away. He didn't try to cure the madness of Rome. He conquered the madness within his own chest. Why do we lock ourselves in this invisible cage? Because human beings are supreme architects of fear. We are poets of tragedy. We believe that if we picture our downfall 1,000 times, if we rewatch our failures on the screens of our minds, we will somehow be bulletproof when the tragedy finally strikes. But the old wisdom tells us a darker story. While you are busy painting the monsters of tomorrow, you are bleeding out in the safety of today. You are exhausting your sacred spirit, fighting imaginary wars, burning the energy you desperately need for the actual ground beneath your feet. Look at the ghosts that haunt you at 2 a.m. Look at them under the cold, unyielding light of truth. The failure you dread, the judgment you fear, the loneliness you predict. They are not giants. They are shadow puppets, grown massive and terrifying only because you are holding the candle too close to your own eyes. You are scaring yourself with your own light. So, how do we break the ancient spell? The masters of old practiced a dark, courageous ritual called Premeditatio Malorum, the Premeditation of Evils. They did not run from their nightmares. They invited them to sit at the table. They looked their worst-case scenarios directly in the dead eyes and asked the ultimate question, is this the monster that made me tremble? You will find, my friend, that the shadows lose their power the exact moment you stop running from them. You are wasting your short, precious life trying to control a chaotic world that was never yours to rule. The empire you chase outside means absolutely nothing if your inner kingdom is in ruins. The time for wandering in the fog is over. Step out of the dream. Stop thinking and start building. Every single time you choose logic over panic, every time you choose silence over the noise of the crowd, you lay a massive, unbreakable stone in the walls of your mind. Turn off the shadows. Rule your mind, or your mind will ruthlessly rule you. Welcome to the daybreak of your stillness.